Let's head straight to the global space where Ted George has been waiting to tell us a summary. In the UK, it's been a very busy week this week. We saw the British inflation jump unexpectedly to an 18-month high in June. Official data showed that, heaping more pressure on government. We saw the wage growth reduce also this week. We also saw, I believe we also saw some other data there from the UK. Let's have Ted George tell us if this is connected to the US tariff, which a lot of people, well, we're counting down to August 1. We know that the UK got a bit of concession and all of that. But let's speak to Ted George, founder and chief narrative officer of Clear's Advisory, joins us virtually from London. Hi, Ted. Good morning. Good to have you speak on the UK, and you're in the UK at this time. We saw a slew of data numbers from the UK this week, some of them not looking so good. Is this the tariff? What are conversations going on around this?
Well, we are in a very challenging global environment at the moment, and the UK economy is spluttering. We just can't seem to get back that growth that it really needs. And so, in fact, the economy shrank a little bit in April, again in May. Probably for the first quarter, we're looking at a shrinkage of 0.1, 0.2%. And the trouble is, as you say, inflation has gone up again. It was 3.6% in May. That's the highest since January 2024, when we were coming out of this huge surge in global inflation, which really hit the UK. Now, the target of the Bank of England is 2%. And of course, everyone had been expecting them to start lowering interest rates again. They're currently around 4.25%. The market was expecting a cut next month, maybe another one before the end of the year. So it's really finely balanced. But I think the market's view is just like, we just don't have that growth. And it's really hurting people because prices are high. And let me tell you that that's the case everywhere in the world, but particularly hard in the UK, as the pound is certainly weaker than before Brexit. So really kind of challenging time. And therefore, is the central bank, the Bank of England, going to say, we just really need to cut rates to help the economy? Or they've obviously got a lot more data they're looking at. Are there bigger concerns about the economy? And that would be a bad idea.
But is this connected to the tariff?
Well, I mean, yes, the real thing about the tariffs is they've brought so much instability and volatility to the world economy. Huge uncertainty. You see markets surging up and down because, when we look at the Trump administration, we expect a whole series of punishing tariffs to come in at the 1st of August. But we've seen multiple backtracks, changes. We're not even sure what they mean by tariffs or sanctions, all kinds of different threats, all part of negotiating tactics. So what that means is the uncertainty in the market is really hurting, particularly investment flows of aid as well, and flows of payments. And so this is just hurting the world economy, and it hurts the UK because we sit at the center of it, particularly the financial sector. But I think particularly this issue of really high prices, the cost of living, and how a lot of people are suffering in the UK, but also in many other developed economies in the world. There's a whole section of people really suffering. They need to get growth back.
Yeah, but getting growth back can't be that easy, Ted. We know that the UK government, they always, when they had the energy cost hike, they had a special package and price cap and all of that. Can we expect anything like that? Even we know that even government expenditure now is also facing its own challenge.
Well, absolutely. Look, the key problem of the UK economy, and it's been this case for probably the last 20 years, is relatively low productivity compared to, let's say, a market like Germany or France, particularly the USA, which is spectacularly productive as well in terms of the return on capital, the return on investment. But at the same time, the services sector has exploded in the UK. It is very much a service-led economy. And because of where the UK is geographically, very good for doing Asian markets and US markets as well, opens just before Europe. We speak English. There's an incredible pool of talent, not just British, but international here as well. And the pound weakening, really, UK workers are actually quite a good deal. So we have a huge export surplus. And in fact, the services export service with the US is around 75 billion. That isn't covered by the tariff discussions. And I think that was very deliberate on the part of the UK. But when it comes to trade, ultimately, it is going to hurt parts of the UK economy, particularly car manufacturers. We already saw Jaguar today saying they're going to lay off 500 workers. Specific industries will be hurt. It's services which is keeping the UK economy going at the moment, but we need growth elsewhere because there's a lot of people who are really, really struggling in the economy.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that the government is thinking of ways, to reduce that suffering. But thank you so much, Ted George, for your time this morning, founder and chief narrative officer of Clearance Advisory.
It's good to be here.